All right, let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg, but maybe not in the way you're used to. We're going to look at the story of the hacker who built this massive empire, and the CEO who now has to deal with everything that came with it. This is really about the two sides of the same person, a conflict that defines one of the most powerful people in tech today.
And you know, nothing shows this clash better than these two quotes right here. On one hand, you've got the classic early Facebook mantra, "It's okay to break things." It was all about moving fast, being disruptive. Then you flash forward 14 years, and you see that same guy in a suit apologizing directly to families in a Senate hearing. So how on earth did the builder of a social network end up?
Subscribe to CEO for more fascinating, insightful, and wealthy stories.
To really get the CEO, you have to go back and understand the programmer. See, Mark Zuckerberg's whole identity, it wasn't forged in some boardroom. It was created in his bedroom, fueled by this deep, almost compulsive need to just build things.
I love this quote from The New Yorker because it just nails it. From day one, he wasn't interested in just using technology. He was the kid who had to figure out how to create it, to build tools that solved problems he saw right in front of him.
And you can see that drive in everything he did before Facebook even existed. I mean, at just 11 years old, he built ZuckNet, basically an early version of AOL Instant Messenger, for his family at his dad's dental office. Then in high school, he makes Synapse, this MP3 player that used machine learning to figure out what you wanted to listen to next. And once he gets to Harvard, it's Course Match to help with classes, and of course, the infamous Face Mash. Now, Face Mash got him into a lot of trouble, but it proved one thing. He knew how to build something that people would use, something that would spread like crazy. The pattern is crystal clear. He's obsessed with building tools that connect people.
So all those early projects, they were really just practice. They were setting the stage for the one idea that would change, well, pretty much everything. This is where the hacker's little dorm room project goes global.
And here's the date, now basically legendary in tech history. From a Harvard dorm room, the Facebook goes live. At first, it's just for Harvard students, a simple little campus tool. But of course, that was just the very beginning of a massive shift in how we all communicate.
And the company was totally built in its founder's image. This hacker culture was the engine. The whole idea was that speed was everything. It's better to build something and ship it in one night than to spend months perfecting it. They had these all-night hackathons all the time, and that famous ethos, move fast and break things, it was a huge advantage. It let them just roll out features constantly and run circles around their slower competitors.
But here's the billion-dollar question, right? The question that would end up defining Zuckerberg's entire career. What happens when that break things mentality stops breaking code and starts breaking trust, or even society?
Well, that reckoning came pretty fast. You've probably heard of the Winklevoss twins and Divya Narendra. They accused him of straight-up stealing their idea. But the really wild part of this story is what happened next. When they complained to the Harvard student newspaper, an angry Zuckerberg allegedly used login info from the Facebook to hack into the email accounts of two of the newspaper's editors. It's this fascinating early glimpse of an aggressive, almost ruthless instinct to protect what he'd built, no matter what.
In the end, that lawsuit settled. And the payout? Well, it was huge. It included giving the ConnectU founders 1.2 million shares of Facebook stock.
And on top of that, a cool $20 million in cash. So right from the get-go, the stakes were incredibly high. And that line between being a hacker, building a cool project, and running a high-stakes business, it got real blurry real fast. So this brings us to the next act. Facebook is not a college project anymore. It's exploding into a global power. And with that kind of scale comes a level of scrutiny that, let's be honest, the hacker in the dorm room was not ready for. Just think about that number for a second. 500 million users. What started in a dorm room was now basically a digital country. And here's the problem. The guy running that country was still thinking like a hacker. When you apply that break things philosophy to a platform with 500 million people, you don't just break code anymore. You start to break privacy norms, you influence elections, you impact people's well-being on a massive global scale. And the fallout? Wow. The next decade was just a constant storm of scandals. One thing after another. The Cambridge Analytica data breach, endless fights over misinformation, hate speech, and then the really serious concerns about teen mental health. The hacker's playground had turned into a geopolitical minefield. And this is where you can literally see the transformation. The coder in the hoodie is gone. He's replaced by the CEO in a suit, getting grilled by Congress over and over again.
He's not just there to explain a new feature, he's defending his entire empire from lawmakers who could literally break it up. This is the evolution from a builder to an executive completely under siege.
So you're facing all these crises. You feel like the thing you've built has spun out of your control. What do? Well, Zuckerberg made the biggest move of his career, a full-on reinvention, not just of the company, but of his entire mission.
And look, this wasn't just a simple name change. It was a massive strategic pivot. Step 1, rebrand to Meta to try and get away from the toxic Facebook brand. Step 2, go all in on a new frontier, the metaverse. And step 3, pour billions and billions of dollars into AI, the tech he's betting will define the next generation of computing. And this really brings us full circle. You can see the whole journey right here. The hacker was solving simple problems for a pretty small community. How do I pick my classes? Who's single on campus? The CEO today is trying to build entirely new global realities with incredibly complex AI and virtual worlds, all while being watched by every regulator on the planet. So that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Is this huge pivot to Meta the final act of a visionary builder creating the next chapter for all of us? Or is it the ultimate escape act? Is he trying to build a brand new world because he just can't fix the problems of the one he already created? That's the real tension at the heart of the Mark Zuckerberg story.
Subscribe to Zone for more fascinating, insightful, and wealthy stories.